Right, Rico. You've been blogging, looking at the Tapp, the media consultant Tapp's report, and its significance and its use in the child abuse scandal. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, again, I became aware really of this media consultant when Senator Ian Lamarca, Home Affairs Minister, answered a written question by Daniel Wimberley in 2010, and in his answer he gave a judgment by Judge Pritchard, and it was from the pre-trial of Oban, Wateridge and Donnelly, and Judge Pritchard was quoting a media consultant, and straight away it just got me thinking, and I was just like thinking, what's a media consultant doing in all this? So yeah, it really did. It came to my attention, and but as things happen, other things come into play, and you kind of forget about that. And then it was probably, I don't know, about 2 months ago, but I started looking into the role of what became known as Tapp, the outside media consultant. So yeah, I started investigating, and I just wanted to see how he fitted into the picture, because the answer from Ian Lamarca was a bit evasive. Like, it was like he said basically he came, he resigned, and then he done a report, and that was just something that really just got me thinking. I was thinking, hang on, a guy comes, he resigns, he does a report. There's got to be something more to this. So I thought I would start, researching and investigating his role.
Well, because Ian Lamarca, when he was asked that question by Daniel Wimberley in 2010, he didn't mention that Tapp was actually commissioned by Frank Walker and Bill Ogley.
Well, this is what I find incredible. Like, okay, like a media consultant comes in, he's working with, Graham Powell knew he'd come in, and he's working with Gradwell and Walkup. He does some preliminary work. To cut a long story short, he has a meeting with Graham Powell. The two sides come to an agreement, but it's not going to work out. So, as happens in life, you win some, you lose some. Tapp and the Jersey Police, they're not for each other, and off you go. But it's what happens. It's like, what happened next? What happened next is just extraordinary, because obviously, like, Graham Powell, the chief of police, has said no thanks. So Tapp leaves the office. He's obviously told David Walkup, Graham Powell and I, my position's untenable, I'm flying home. Thank you very much. See you later. But it looks like David Walkup must have phoned Bill Ogley, the chief executive of States of Jersey, and said, oh, look, Graham Powell doesn't like Tapp or whatever, or what's happening, and he's going. And before you know it, Tapp finds himself in the office of the chief executive, and, well, we know now, he had a report commissioned by the chief executive. Yeah,
but I suppose my question is, why didn't Ian Lamarca mention this when he was asked in 2010 by Daniel Wimberley?
Because I just believe, because obviously in 2010 the Wiltshire investigation was still underway. Wiltshire hadn't come out when Daniel had asked this question.
Why would he think that? What is the need to hide the fact that Frank Walker and Bill Ogley commissioned this guy?
Because the States of Jersey are getting involved in policing matters. The investigation was into decades of abuse which had happened in the care of the States of Jersey, and here we had the chief executive of the States of Jersey commissioning a report that a guy is working on, looking into the
child abuse.
Yeah, child abuse. To me, that's a straight conflict.
So do you think Ian Lamarca purposely hid that fact?
Well, he's not really answered that question. I know he said in the Napier, explained it all. Napier doesn't really look into the role of it's there in about 4 or 5 paragraphs in the Napier report. It's there for anyone to read it, but Napier doesn't explain what was going on there.
Did Napier know that this is Frank Walker and Bill Ogley commissioned Tapp?
Yeah, I think he does. I think Napier knows, but I just don't know if he really grasps the situation. Yeah, the significance of it. I mean, the Napier. Let's get this straight right now. But the Napier report is a damning report. really on the procedures leading up to the suspension of Graham Power. It's a damning report, you know. It can't, you know, Senator Lamarca was waving it around like it was some sort of vindication the other day. It's nothing of the sort.
Well, that was quite entertaining actually, because he didn't agree with a lot of the Napier report.
I remember when Napier first came out, Lamarca categorically
he didn't agree with it.
Didn't agree with the Napier report.
There he was quoting from it in the last state sitting. But it's got to be said, the Napier report concluded that there was not sufficient evidence to suspend the chief of police.
Oh yeah, we all know that. You know, that's, you know, and then you've got to look back at, you know, it's the build up. You know, it's I always say now, you know, because we're in 2012 now. When you look at the evidence now, what you forget, what is missing is you don't have the whole vibe of 2008. What the island was, you know, how things were being seen. That's what gets missed from reports. But I just find it extraordinary that that David Walkup and the chief executive, you know, you've got deputy chief officer of the police, chief executive of the States of Jersey, but they thought it was okay to go behind the back of the chief of police. As far as I know, no one informed Graham Power that Matt Tapp had gone off to Bill Oakley and you know,
Frank Walker
and Frank Walker. No one knew this, you know, and no one would have known about this if you know, if I hadn't looked at it. But I just can't, you know, what is the States of Jersey doing, getting involved in any form of a policing issue that is to do with the States of Jersey? It's got to be an absolute category conflict of interest. You know.
Well, here we go. The Chief Minister Ian Gorst, well, Senator Ian Gorst, whether he's a Chief Minister or not is another question, has been asked and could be considering publishing the Matt Tapp report. I
think he needs to publish a lot to do with Matt Tapp. You know, obviously, he said in the States the other day that there doesn't seem to be any contract drawn up between Matt Tapp Associates and the Chief Minister's Department. There's an invoice floating around, I think he said, but just under £3,000 they paid Matt Tapp for his report, but there's no contract drawn up. He said there was an email correspondence between Bill Oakley and Matt Tapp, but the emails are no longer there.
Well, the head of the Public Accounts Committee, Deputy Tracy Valois, seems to show a bit of an interest. Maybe hopefully the PAC will start looking into this.
Yeah, it's just a very shady area, like, you know, of what's going on. And you know, I know Chief Minister Gorst wants to bring out the Tapp report, which I think would be, you know, I think it should come out. I don't think there's anything of I can't think of the right words of I don't think there's any sensitive. Yeah, I don't think, but. If Chief Minister Gorst wants to bring out the Tapp report, they should also bring out the Dunswell-Smith report as well. The Dunswell-Smith report.
What's the I don't know that one. What's the Dunswell-Smith report?
When Wiltshire was called in for the disciplinary process of Graham Power to look into it, Dunswell-Smith was the he for Wiltshire. He took care of the media. All the
investigation.
Yeah, the media investigation, all the media reports. He basically did what Tapp was doing for the States of Jersey. So Dunswell-Smith did one for Wiltshire. Now, as far as I know, but that's not in the redacted. Any of it's in the redacted Wiltshire report. I've only just started looking at this, so I've not had an opportunity to go and look at it. But I mean, the Dunswell-Smith report will have to come out as well. I mean, you can't have one without the other. And it'd be quite interesting to see how a media consultant's report that is paid by the States of Jersey comes up against the Wiltshire's police's media.
So let's get the Matt Tapp report out, but let's see the Dunswell-Smith as well.
The Dunswell-Smith's got to come out as well.